All right, one thing in my GIS classes that I often neglect or forget to tell people is the various views in the table of contents dockable window here in ArcMap. So most of the time people are working in one of these or many of these and don't even realize it. But the table of contents has many different ways of viewing the data that you have available to you for any project. One of the first ones that usually ArcMap defaults to is to list any data you have available to you by drawing order. So in this case, if I were to put the, say, reference information below export output, you would see a change, or I could shift the base map above it all, and you see the other features go away. This just shows you if something's above something else in this table of contents, that's the order in which ArcMap will draw those features. The next one over is to list by source, and this will tell you where on your computer you have stored your data. Also for items like this, world boundaries and places and world imagery, where they're not on your computer, you'll see they're kind of, these are streamed over the internet. You'll see they're kind of hanging out in the same level of hierarchy as the folders themselves. But if I were to have another folder from temp, or another file from temp analysis open in here, I can do this as an example for you. You can see that they both show up underneath here. I guess they'll show the path for every layer, right? And then, so this will just tell you where on your computer these are, so you don't have to do something like go into the layer properties to the source tab and find that information right here. Okay, the next one over is list by visibility. So if I were to turn off, say, export output here, you would see that it is in the not visible category. If I turn it back on by clicking the check mark, you see that it is in the visible category. This only works for layers that are geographic feature classes of some kind. If you notice in my list by data source, I have a table here. Finally, or almost finally, we have whether features are selectable or not. In this case, if you're doing interactive selection, for example, like this, it will show how many features are selected, and you can actually make the feature unselectable. So I could use the selection tool to select other features, and it wouldn't accidentally select features from this layer. You can also click to clear all selections, and that can be helpful if you're doing interactive selections. And then we have our final thing is the options for our table of contents. Pretty lame kind of options here, but it'll show whether something's there, how layers are drawn, and then even you can mess with, whether patches look different in your table of contents. It actually is, this may be as useful because this will determine how they show up in your legends. So keep that in mind, but that's the table of contents and kind of how you interact with it. Keep in mind too, table of contents is a window that can be undocked and moved around. It can also take up the whole screen. I don't know why you would do that. Or you can dock it to anywhere in the window environment that you feel would be most suitable. You can even have it collapse into the side, giving you more room to interact with the actual data window or layout view as you see fit. All right, good luck with the table of contents.